It's live.
Here we go.
Here we go. What's up, guys? Welcome to the We Are Gunsmith podcast, episode 6.
All right.
It's your boy James.
It's Rob.
And we are joined today by a very special guy. One of our athletes, pro MMA fighter, Austin Vanderford.
What's up, guys?
Drove all the way down from Portland to hang out with us today. Get his model on.
Yeah.
Man, the more, like, the deeper you get into this, the more you're taking pictures all the time
I
and
bet,
get
doing
comfortable.
interviews. And, yeah, so for me, each one's good right now because, you know, I'm getting comfortable with
it's like
it.
a learning experience.
Exactly. Yep.
Future career path? No.
Yeah, social media is everything.
Yeah.
Your social media is popping right now.
You know what? It helps that she's my new fiance.
Hey,
congrats.
You know, get some help from her, and she's kind of shown me like the ropes a little bit because before,
Yeah, for sure.
her social media is crazy. So
yeah.
So
it's on a different
if
level.
you're gonna learn from somebody, you might as well learn from her.
Yep.
That's awesome. Speaking of, so you recently got engaged.
Yeah.
Congrats, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Last week I had it planned out, and I woke up last Sunday and I was like, man, I'm gonna propose
Just gonna
today.
do
And
it.
so
Wow.
we
Just gonna
kinda
send it.
threw something together in like an hour and set it up, and I had my family there, and so it was fun. And
How long are you guys together?
we've been together for like 7 months now.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah, dude.
so not a ton of time, but like
When you
like
know,
they
you
say,
know.
when you know,
There
you
you go.
know. Exactly.
Yeah. Well,
So
your guys' dynamic is incredible. I mean, you know, you both fight.
yeah.
I mean, you never find that.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
what's the likelihood of that?
Yeah.
And you guys, I mean, from what I could see online, it's like you obviously
Care
you know,
about each
are
other.
always laughing together, having a great time, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff, too. So
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah. It's
7 months, dude. Crazy.
months,
I was with my
yeah.
girlfriend for 7 years
really
before I did it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, I would have done it earlier. I couldn't afford a rig.
Yeah.
So that's the real reason
That's
I
the
didn't do it.
excuse right there.
Yeah.
That's the one I keep using for Christmas.
That's
right
the dead truth. That's the dead
No.
honest truth.
It yeah, it's cool, and it's a special thing, and
awesome.
fighting is, you know, means so much to me, but at the end of the day, I just, you know, you're working for a family, and you do it all for family.
Yeah,
And
to have
so-
somebody. Yeah.
Yep. So
That's awesome. Is it weird since you guys both fight? Like, is it weird? Like she just fought recently. Was it like tough watching her like get hit in the face basically? Like,
Yeah.
it's
I
awful.
feel like that'd
Yeah.
be nerve wracking as shit.
Yeah.
As soon as, before she even fought, like 2 hours before she fought, I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I'm so sorry for everything I put you through." Because, you know, she's the one that it probably hurts the most, like watching me compete, and not even in fighting, but in wrestling, and, you know,
Any physical.
anything.
Anything
So
that's dangerous, and
I
there's
called her
chance-
and I apologized because I finally had that feeling for the first time in my life. Like,
Wow.
man, yeah, someone you love so much is, you know,
Is-
because your
yeah.
buddies, there's a different emotional investment. with,
Right.
Yeah.
You know, your buddies or your training partners than you
Yeah.
know, the
But
person that.
you're not your friend's like protector.
Yeah,
Right.
In a
exactly.
sense.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of
So,
speaking significant
That's-
other.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was curious if it was different, if you understand what it's like to be in a fight, to watch somebody else fight.
yeah.
Because, like, you know, if my wife were to watch me fight, she's never been in a fight.
Yeah.
So she'd be, like, obviously scared out of her mind. But you
Yeah.
knowing what it's actually like, I didn't know if
Yeah.
that would be different or not.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah, that's actually interesting for sure. Because,
But you still have the same emotion.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
yeah,
It's just a human element.
At the end of the day, it's you're watching someone you love
Yeah.
get hit in the face. And
Yeah.
And his story.
you
What
can't
I-
do anything about it.
Yeah, what I noticed the most is like, because it's kind of broken down into like different, you know, so right before you walk out the cage, you have a different set of emotions, and you know you're getting excited and
Yeah.
nervous, and so being in there, I kind of relate like each step that she's making. Like, all right, she's walking out to the cage. I remember how I felt when I'm getting ready to walk out.
You know when to say something and when not to say something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's probably the biggest thing. Is like,
that's
you don't have somebody just chirping in like right when you don't want anybody.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
like,
exactly. So,
let me focus, man.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah.
How'd you get into fighting, man? Like that's a crazy profession right there.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, if you would have asked me when I was a kid, I would have said I wanted to be like a professional football player. But I've always been into athletics, and I always wanted to be a professional athlete. I just didn't really ever envision myself being a professional fighter. But
when you were growing up, probably the UFC wasn't even like that big.
No,
like, that was crazy.
I mean, I remember being fairly young, and we had the video game or whatever. But yeah, it definitely wasn't obviously what it is now. And you know, now kids are growing up, and that's what they want to be.
They focus on.
Yeah. When we were kids, I don't ever remember anyone saying they want to be a professional fighter.
No, the realest kind of fighting back then was like backyard wrestling or something. It wasn't even,
Oh yeah,
that was the most hardcore stuff out.
Yeah,
it's funny. Yeah, so okay, you live in Portland now.
Yep.
So and you're from Alaska.
Yep, from Ninilchik, Alaska.
So take us on a.
Where is that? First off,
So you know what? I'd have a hard time telling anyone where it was.
Does it still exist?
It barely exists. It's a small little place.
You might have to Google that after this.
So Google it. You'll find, there's a couple little things. But, so my family moved to Alaska when I was like a month old. And so I was raised in this small little, I guess, fishing village. And I finished up high school wrestling and wanted to continue wrestling in college, so I made my way to Oregon, at Southern Oregon University. And
did you get an offer, or how'd that?
You know what? To be honest, I did not want to go to Southern Oregon. I didn't want to go to SOU. I had some buddies who had went there and told me it was, can I
trash?
Oh yeah, cuss. Go ahead. Say
it was shitty, and they didn't like it. It sucked. All this and it got down to the end of it, or like a couple months before school started, and I was like, damn, I guess this is my option. And and so I called Coach Ritchie up. He had me come down for a visit, and I loved it. Unfortunately, at that time, all the scholarship money was used up, and I wasn't a super big name at a high school anyways, and the rest was kind of history, and earned a scholarship eventually, and so.
And then you kick some ass.
Yeah.
Kick some ass.
Don't be modest, man.
Yeah.
What were some of your accolades?
Yeah, I was. I ended up being a 2-time All-American and national champion there, and wrestling in college is. I mean, I'm sure a lot like other sports, but you had some kids who were animals in high school, and it just didn't translate over to college, and it's almost a different sport once you get to college, and
I feel like it's like that kind of with most sports. I feel like the elevate as you go up, the competition level just increases.
The speed, strength.
You could be dope as shit in high school, and
exactly.
Be
you
a
guys
bench
know.
warmer.
Football, and
everyone knows dudes like that.
Yeah,
everyone
who's just a stud in high school, and then he gets to college,
and vice versa.
Yeah,
sometimes people aren't that good, and then all of a sudden they're like,
this
guy
you
on
never
the team,
know.
You're like, what?
Yeah,
it's all mindset.
It's mindset and the work that you want to put into it.
So SOU's like a really good wrestling school.
Yeah. A lot of it has to do with the coaching. Coach Mike Ritchie's awesome. I'd say his best attribute, in my opinion, was he's just got a way of talking to you as an athlete and
that's huge.
Relating to you, and you really do. You trust him. I trusted him, and he just knows the right things at the right time.
That's
and
awesome.
So
So what made that transition from SOU to MMA? Because it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I I had a lot of people tell me like, man, once you get done wrestling, you got to fight. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I watched it. I think it's cool. And I guess just my style was kind of, I'll be the first to admit I was never the most technical wrestler. And I'd say I won a lot off of some natural ability but a lot of hard work. And like I said, I just kind of got out there and got after it. And I guess, I listened to people who said, hey, you should start fighting. And I have always obviously enjoyed physical sports. And, there's nothing quite like going out and dominating someone and the feeling that you get from it. So I just started getting into it in Medford in a little gym, and eventually kind of outgrew. They always say once you're the toughest guy in your gym, or it's time to move on. And not that I was necessarily the toughest guy, but I felt that I needed a few more opportunities.
Yeah.
And so
you can't be the big fish in a small pond
for sure
for too long.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, you have to get out of your comfort zone. It's like everything's like that.
Exactly. Yep.
You
got to get out of your comfort
zone.
zone.
Do you remember the first time you ever, like when you went from wrestling to fighting, the first time you ever just took a shot to the face and you're like, wow, this is like, here we go.
Yeah.
This is my life.
Yeah. So, I'm coming up with a bunch of sayings right now, but another one of those sayings is, you always got a plan until you get hit in the face.
Yeah, right.
And
I was going to ask you if that's
that. That's the truest thing, especially when it comes to fighting. You got this elaborate game plan going into it, but as soon as you get hit in the face, man, it's all.
Even like anybody when they hit like a punching bag, you're like, dude, I could be Mike Tyson. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you go against someone, you're like, this is way fucking different.
Oh, way.
Something actually wants to hit you back.
Yeah.
Way different.
Like, wait a sec.
Yeah. But yeah, to answer your question, I do remember one of the first times, just getting hit and kind of having that feeling, and it's almost like you're drunk for a second and you're just kind of, woozy and but as weird as it is, I kind of like the feeling.
Do you get kind of you get kind of used to it almost? Like, I don't know. I feel like.
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like anything, the more you do it and the more repetition, exactly, the more used to it. You might not ever like it.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's not that I love to get hit, but I'm getting more and more comfortable, and I'm still not, where I would want to be as far as comfort. But the more experience you get, and the more fights, and so that's why the cage time. It's super important to get in there and get that valuable cage time and get comfortable.
That's great.
So,
like I was, whenever we watch like the UFC or something, and like they're on the ground and they're just throwing like little small shots to like the ribs or something. I'm just thinking to myself like, damn. That doesn't look like much, but that probably hurts hella bad.
Yeah. And the thing about body shots too is it disrupts your breathing, and a lot of those definitely, like you're saying, doesn't hurt a ton, but it all adds up too. So
that's nuts, dude. Awesome. Fuck.
Did you ever grow up like us? Like when we watch fights, sometimes I'll see guys, and I'm like, come on, dude, just fucking punch him.
Oh, still.
But like,
I still do. Yeah.
But being an actual fighter, you're like, dude, I know exactly how tired he is.
Yeah.
But to us, we're like, why the hell is it not kicking his ass right now?
Yeah. And you know what? One of the most helpless feelings in the world too is when you're just dog tired, can't do anything, and you're in a fight. She's like, man, you almost, it's like you can't protect yourself, and it's helpless, but. That's why you train, right? That's why you train. But
so what's your professional record right now?
Professionally, I'm 4-0 right now. So
you were undefeated as an amateur too, right?
As an amateur too, yeah. I think, let's see, I was 5-0 or 6-0 as an amateur, and then 4-0 professionally. And last fight was my first fight with Victory Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
And a good big promotion. They're a feeder show for the UFC, and so and this business is a lot like any, it's a lot of who you know and getting set up in the right.
Dude, everything,
man. I mean,
everything
and just, things have to go your way. And there's a lot of talented fighters out there who just won't ever get their shot. But you got to take advantage of it, and you got to be willing to step up and fight whenever,
At the end of the day, there's no other way to advance.
Yeah.
Than to fucking go do it.
And sometimes the opportunities aren't, the best. You get a short notice fight, but
you got to take it.
Sometimes those are the ones that get you.
That's the foot in the door kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think nowadays with like social media and stuff, do you think that plays a role in some of these guys getting like advanced forward?
Oh, for sure. Because I mean, it's a business to them. So people want to see talented fighters, and but it's about ticket sales too.
They want to see somebody they know though too.
Yeah, it's about ticket sales, and there's some guys who are in the UFC right now who might not be the most talented guys, but they're marketable and they sell themselves.
They got a story or something.
Yeah,
exactly.
Every sport's like that.
Yeah, every
fans
sport.
don't want to think like that.
Yeah,
you're like, dude, why didn't that guy play on that team still?
Yeah,
I thought he loved us.
Yeah,
it's like, well, his contract is 3 times the size.
Yeah, exactly.
And people don't want to believe that.
Yeah, and they're trying to sell tickets, and so
So you've had 10 fights?
I've had
fights?
I had 9 or 10. I forget on my amateur.
And how long have you been fighting for?
Let's see. I've been fighting for. I'm gonna be going into my 3rd year, so about 2.5.
So that's a lot of fights.
Yeah, that's quite a few fights, and I'm definitely super young in the sport for sure too. So, a lot of these guys have been fighting for 10 years or whatever, but I try to stay as active as I can, because for one, I love it. For two, I want to try to progress fast and efficiently. There's a lot to be said about, like I said, the cage time and the experience and stuff, but
getting comfortable,
but I want to be on pay-per-view and doing all that.
For sure, dude.
Yeah. And goal is to get on the UFC.
Exactly, yeah. My goal is to fight in the UFC.
That's awesome, dude.
So when's your next fight?
My next fight is April 14th in Dallas, Texas. So I haven't officially signed a contract yet, but their promoter and I have talked, and so that's our date. And so then the next step is they'll find an opponent and do all that.
I was going to ask you, do you know?
Yeah, exactly. So
that's interesting. So you don't even know.
Yeah, don't have an opponent yet.
Wow.
Is that normally how it works, or I don't know?
Not as much. So this is the first time that I've signed like an exclusive contract with the promotion. Before this, it was like, I'm fighting on whatever card I can that works with my schedule. But now, yeah. And so my management team and we kind of have a plan, and the promoter kind of have a plan and a timeline and whatnot. And so I'll take this right here, and then I'll take a little bit of time, probably, like 4 or 5 months or something, and kind of use that time to work on stuff and get better. It's hard to like train. I wouldn't necessarily say to get better, but it's hard to train to get better if you're fighting every month.
You got to try to peak. You're trying to peak for the fight, and so you can't really work on certain things.
So I'll take a little time after this fight, and because I signed a 4-fight contract, so this will be my 2nd fight with victory, and so it'll take a little time, and
I was gonna ask, when you get an opponent, do you study, like when you're training for that fight, are you studying what they do and try to like adapt to how they fight? Are you just trying to get better at what your strengths are, or is it like just a mixture of both?
Yeah, I haven't necessarily. I don't necessarily study my opponent too much. I let my coaches do that, and they'll find stuff that they, think that we could take advantage of or whatnot. But I mostly just focus on myself and trying to, get better. I know my strengths, and my weaknesses right now. And so the goal is to get your weaknesses better and, you know, capitalize on your strengths. And,
right.
What would you say your biggest weakness is right now, you think?
I would say
the hard question to answer.
Yeah, that
Put
is.
you on the spot right there, man.
Everybody hates that.
I do. Yeah, but
hard.
I think that's a good. It's a good question too. I think that I need to be more confident in my hands, in my striking. I think I could. I think that I have the potential to be, you know, like I guess a quote unquote knockout artist, and but I revert back to my wrestling a lot because that's what got me there. Yeah, and I know that, you know, for the most part, I can basically take anyone, you know, down or get there. So I think my confidence in my hands, because I think my striking's a lot better than sometimes I'll give myself credit for. Yeah. And a lot of it's confidence too. You gotta be confident, and I've got great coaches and you know, great training partners. So
plus you're a big dude, so like if you throw and connect, like,
for sure. Yep,
you're big 170 guys.
Yeah.
Got to take advantage of that a little bit.
You were throwing some haymakers in your last fight.
Yeah, and so that last one, I was going, I wanted to knock that guy out, and that oftentimes is what happened with me, and not getting it is a lot of times what will be when you're going out and really looking for it. You know, it all comes when you least expect it.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
just
gotta
using
have it,
good clean technique and but you know, I'm a fighter too, and I just want to go out and kill somebody. And so you
see, there you go.
So
well, it's probably like if you're trying to get it, you're probably forcing some throws, and you're not throwing the best technique probably behind it, and so that's crazy.
Yeah, and you can, you know, relate that to anything too. You know, you try so hard on it, and
you lose your cool.
Yeah, it ends up being shitty and
stupid shit.
Yeah.
So how does your training break down normally? Like, you have a fight coming up, so you're about to start camp. Like, how does that work? Like how many days a week, or like, because you have striking, you got wrestling, you got strength and conditioning, you got to fit that all in. Like, there's only so many hours,
and you got to cut.
Yeah, you got to cut too.
So I don't worry about the cut until a week out. But you know, when I'm not, like right now, when I'm not necessarily in a camp, you know, I'll do something like here today and, you know, take a day off in the middle of the week. I'm usually pretty strict on training it, and also because I love it and I love to train and work out and do that. But when I really get to a camp, we'll usually take like 8 weeks and really super strict about everything, your diet and like you said, balancing everything is where it gets tricky, because you know, you want to get everything in, but you know, then you're training 3 times a day, or and
what is like a normal day like when you're in camp? Like, what's that like?
Well, a normal day, even out of camp, we usually will have our strength and conditioning at like 10 a.m. So we'll hit strength and conditioning.
And you have a guy specifically that does your strength and conditioning?
We have Dave Shalofsky. He changed Chael Sonnen.
Coach Dave on
Coach
Instagram?
Dave, Coach Dave.
Fire content.
Yeah.
We follow each other.
So we'll do our strength and conditioning in the morning, and then we'll usually go to like a mid-afternoon or late afternoon, like 5 o'clock practice, and then a lot of times we'll have another one at like 8 o'clock or something. So our days, we end late, and for me it takes like a couple hours to unwind when I get home and all that. So, you know, we train like 2 to 3 times a day for the most part, depending on how difficult 1 or 2 of the practices or training sessions are.
What do you do for your recovery? Because like when you're working out that much and breaking yourself down, like what kind of recovery stuff do you do normally? Yeah, so that is definitely a big part, because we run into overtraining for sure a lot, and I'm fortunate enough that I've got some awesome sponsors that help with that. Legion Athletics, my supplement company, they
got awesome products that I use every day as far as like with my recovery. But the one that I got into recently that I've always been skeptical on, but it works, is the CBD.
Yeah, I was
oil.
asking you about that.
Yeah, so EcoScience, they send me the CBD drip, and man, it's awesome. It's good for
It's like a noticeable difference.
inflammation. Yeah, for sure. Especially, I have a really hard time going to sleep
Yeah, me
at
too.
night.
Yeah, so do I.
So does Rob. Rob is notorious.
Dude, my mind is like always going and thinking, and
I went to bed at like 4 last night.
yeah.
So
It's
that was tight.
but yeah, I use the CBD oil, and
is that? So I know that's like kind of like a controversial topic. but
yeah, for sure.
does that violate any, or is it legal
No,
with some
so-
organizations, or no? Do you
Yeah,
have to
so
talk
I
to-
don't get drug tested. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I guess I could, and it's all weird. It's
Yeah.
all by commission. So
Right.
I just fought in Nebraska. So Nebraska's athletic commission's different from
Right.
Oregon's,
Mm.
and
Dude, that's so
That's
crazy.
interesting.
Like just so
Yeah.
many different rules, and
until you get to the UFC. So the UFC is
do they regulate that?
yeah, but you can take CBD.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's 'cause the CBD, and I definitely don't know
All
a
the
ton
science,
about
yeah,
like
neither do we.
the yeah.
I
So,
don't know anything.
but it doesn't. The CBD doesn't have the THC, and the THC is what gets you high, and
Right.
so
Okay.
this doesn't have any like psycho or I don't think psychedelic, but any of the like get you high
It's just
properties.
straight like
It's just-
inflammation.
Yep, whatever the healing
Interesting.
properties of marijuana is, and
Huh.
Yeah, no, that's like a hot button thing, like
Oh yeah.
NFL and
Yeah.
like some of those big organizations. Like, I guess some of those organizations don't allow it just because of what it's associated with. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. 'Cause
Yeah.
I've heard from a bunch of people. There's a few bodybuilders I follow that take
Yeah.
that because of the inflammation reduction and stuff. So
yeah,
It's definitely getting talked about a lot.
yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I still have no idea what it even stands for.
we'll have,
Yeah, no.
we'll have to get Justin on here to talk about it with us.
Oh,
yeah, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
best. Get someone who knows
actually
their
knows
shit,
what the
knows
hell
what
it
they're
is.
talking
Yeah,
about.
we know
yeah.
a guy.
Yeah, you know a guy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
We know
Yeah.
the guy.
No, I definitely, yeah, like
Yeah.
you guys said, I've been skeptical, but I take it and I swear by it.
That's cool.
So
That's
I'm not
interesting.
even that
Yeah.
skeptical about it. I just don't even think about it.
yeah, for sure.
It's
And that's
like,
the
I don't
other
know.
thing too. You know, it's like you take your fish oil or
Yeah.
your whatever, and
Yeah.
do you know how much of it do you really feel?
Yeah.
But-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the big thing is a lot of those supplements people just get in the habit of just taking just
Yeah.
because everybody else is taking it and it has not necessarily
Yeah.
any real effect on it. It's
For
almost a
sure.
placebo effect.
So
kind
true.
of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, Brittany and I, we talk about that all the time because we have a cabinet full of, fish oil and biotin and like
Yeah.
all just everything.
Just
It's
yeah.
always like we take it and we're like, does this even do anything? Like, do you feel any different?
That's why it's nice when you get like a supplement or something that actually you can feel a difference and it's like, oh, this actually is doing something.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So that's cool
Yeah.
that actually you notice a difference with
That's
it.
interesting.
Yeah,
check it out.
yeah.
So you said there's no drug testing in Victory? fighting?
In victory, yeah. So see, it's not governed by any. So, the UFC has USADA, so they've hired USADA to drug test, and I think the UFC is the only one who has like,
Wow.
Right.
so
Some sort of
so it all
regulation.
depends on the commission. So
Yeah.
that state's commission, and I guess they can do the drug testing like at the fight. But like I said, the CBD is
Yeah, no,
I
well, it's not gonna help you.
no,
If anything,
and
it
you
just
could
helps
get tested, in the UFC and be on CBD and still
be okay.
you're
that's,
fine.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Though. That's
So
that's
Well,
awesome that they
even-
allow that.
yeah,
Even if there's not drug testing in Victory, I bet a lot of guys probably won't do it though because you could get picked up by the UFC tomorrow.
yeah, exactly. So my
And then get
contract,
tested in theory
yeah,
soon. So
yeah. My contract, I've signed a 4-fight contract, but that contract would be terminated if the UFC offered me a contract or a short notice fight.
That's awesome.
And a lot of times nowadays, that's what to get into the UFC. That's what you
That's what you got.
get that short notice fight and that call, and so yeah, you got to be ready and have to have your weight in check for the most part, and because if you get called up on week's notice and 30 pounds over, probably not a good situation.
So it's motivation to stay in shape year round.
Exactly.
Basically.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So is there, you must think about fighting in the UFC. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like probably think about it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Is there anybody in the UFC that would be in your weight division that you would like, just would be the dream to go against?
To call out or to go against?
It might be a realistic thing pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, man, just...
That's exciting to even think about.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not far-fetched.
To be honest, it would just be a dream come true to fight in the UFC.
Doesn't matter who.
Doesn't matter who, but, it would be fun to... Like, George St. Pierre's a welterweight one, so...
I was going to ask,
like a legend like that would be so
man,
cool.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be
getting ready and so in a situation like that he would be getting ready to fight somebody, that guy gets hurt or something, a couple days,
like, Austin's a beast, let's
hey,
throw
this
him.
guy
so Austin, what are you doing Saturday?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
fuck.
So what's the goal after fighting, like, because you can't fight forever, so
exactly,
like, what kind of things are you working towards for, like, after that? Like, have you thought about that much? Or
yeah, I mean, I definitely, the situation that I'm in now and being with someone who has kind of had the experience outside of fighting and kind of getting going with her stuff, just doing stuff with her. I mean, I think some TV opportunities would be cool. I love fitness too, and
you're certified, right? You're a
certified trainer,
cool.
And doing stuff like that, coaching. But I definitely, the goal is to build up a name for yourself now, and so when you're done fighting, because we can only do it for so long, your body's, and who knows, it could be. Done for me tomorrow, or an injury, or knock on wood. Yeah, definitely. But it's it's never too early to start. When you have the opportunity. So we're definitely trying to build ourselves up now.
Build up the brand a little bit.
Yep,
that's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Well, you want to do some quick questions so people can get to know you a little bit?
Yeah. What we got?
Favorite cheat food, man.
Favorite cheat food, jalapeno Cheetos. So it's the Cheetos in like the green bag. I think it's I think it's like jalapeno. My favorite. It's one of those things where I can honestly not have one. I eat the entire bag.
Just crush
and
the
it's
whole
like
bag.
2,000, 3,000 calories or something. And
calories don't count, man.
Yeah.
Favorite sports teams?
Favorite sports teams. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh,
dude, they crushed my team.
Close. Dude, they were close this year, man.
So close. I was so bummed out. So, Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Lakers, my favorite basketball team.
You're from Alaska?
I'm from Alaska. So, I get free reign on any
you can pick
team.
anything, basically.
Which is, because I get that question, like, how'd you pick those two teams?
It was so random,
like,
man. Opposite coast and everything.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's true.
I liked the Jaguars jerseys when I was a kid.
Yeah,
they do have some fire colors.
Yeah, and then I remember watching a game, like when I think I was like 8 or something, watching a Laker game. Mark Brunell, dude, Jimmy Smith, Fred Taylor, all those guys.
Fred Taylor, dude.
Yep.
Underrated.
Isn't he a Hall of Famer?
I don't know if he made it.
Yeah,
I think he did.
Yeah.
Oh. Or he did something though.
He should have. He should be. If he's not, he should be.
Heck yeah.
He's legit. Jags.
I used to play with him in Madden all the time. He was
99 jukes.
So when you're not fighting, what are you doing? If you're not training or fighting, what are you doing?
Man, when I'm not training and fighting,
what's the go-to relaxation thing? You a video game guy? You a movie guy?
Not as much. We're really into. We watch The Office. Love The Office.
Classic.
Paige has got a really cool spot over on the coast. We'll go over to her beach house and just relax there. It's her favorite spot, and I love it too.
That's awesome.
So we definitely, when we're not training or fighting, we're traveling a lot. Yeah. So a lot of travel.
Yeah. Where's the dream destination? Like, if you could go somewhere tomorrow, like, where would you want to go?
Thailand. I think we both, and part of it's to go train. We both want to go over there and train in Thailand, and
that'd be sick.
Yeah,
some sweet beaches out there.
Yeah.
We're trying to go to Dubai.
Oh, really?
That's our goal. Dubai.
I was just telling Paige I'd want to do that too. We were supposed to go to Israel 2 weeks ago, and then she had her arm surgery. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So cool. I know. Cool little trip to Israel, but it's all good. But Dubai would be awesome. I just told Paige that the other day. I was like, Dubai would be cool.
We've been talking about that for years. We're like, Dubai is the goal.
Yeah.
We'll all go.
Yeah.
Group trip.
Heck
We'll organize it.
Yeah.
And then we'll get somebody else to pay for it.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get Sterling to fly us there.
Yeah.
He'll literally fly us there.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
He's
Yeah.
a pilot. I don't know if you knew
he
that.
is?
Yeah.
I figured he must be. He's got
Why not?
all that cool stuff. Yeah.
Let's see. Dream car.
Dream car. Man, to tell you the truth,
I'm
not really. No. I don't really know enough about that stuff.
That wraps up this podcast.
Yeah,
you just crushed Rob right there.
No, I feel so bad.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like a wall between us. There's all these cool cars out there and all that. But what I'm really into right now, Paige has got a Harley. And I definitely want to start getting into riding. So yeah,
me too, man. We just got back from the Destination Nowhere Harley trip.
Oh yeah,
Charity ride.
It was a charity ride that Sterling organized.
Yeah,
from Dallas to Las Vegas, so it was like 1,500 miles.
Oh, dude!
And they got a bunch of Harleys. It was like 30 people and like 15, 16 bikes.
Yeah,
it was just sick.
It
made
me.
I didn't go because I've never gotten on a bike, and that's like not the time to learn.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
but I'm trying to get my certifications and stuff taken care of so I can do it next year.
Yeah,
so we should do
definitely.
that.
I would love to.
Let's do that.
Yep,
that'd be sick. You have the tattoos for Harley too. So
yeah. I'm trying to.
Oh, I thought you had a Harley tattoo. I thought.
Oh no,
you were saying, I was
no.
Like,
he's like right here,
why not?
Sponsorship opportunity right there, Harley.
Yeah.
Speaking of tattoos, you recently got one on your neck.
Yeah, I got one on my neck.
Tiger. Is it
crazy painful. Yeah.
Painful, really, on the back of your neck?
Oh my gosh.
I would never would have guessed.
Yeah. Once you got
tattoo.
like kind of to the sides of it, oh, so terrible. It was like 5 hours.
Yeah, towards the end.
Yeah, exactly towards the end, and the whole time I'm thinking like, all right, I got to make it this whole time. Like, no, not breaking this thing up into 2 days,
man.
and
then you got a bunch of color, right?
Yeah, and so I was, towards the end, I was sweating like crazy, and like, all right, I'm ready for this to be done. Yeah, you can't stop. No. So, especially, I had just finished my fight like 3 days ago. Had to get, 2 sets of stitches on my eyes, and couldn't be a pussy to the tattoo. I was like, dude, I gotta stop.
I need to lift my face up real
it
quick.
hurts too bad. But no,
But you were gonna get your head.
I was gonna get the back of my head.
Wow.
My manager talked me out of it. But
what a buzzkill.
What did he say?
He just didn't think it was the best idea. But
I don't see why.
I don't really either, because I mean the neck or the back of the head, whatever. He's not.
Were you gonna get the same?
Yeah, I was gonna get the same.
So it was just gonna be higher up.
It was just gonna be higher.
It's a traditional.
Yeah,
tiger?
traditional tiger. Yeah.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. Well, I definitely.
I know a guy.
I definitely am gonna go up into my head.
Are you
now with something? But yeah, I mean neck or back of the head, it's like the same. So
yeah, you might as well.
Might as well, man. It just adds to the image, dude.
Yeah,
send it.
Send
Who
it.
cares?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, do you want to tell the listeners kind of where they can find you and?
Yeah. So my Instagram handle is AustinV170 MMA. And same for my Twitter too. I'm just now getting going on Twitter. I haven't really I don't really do a ton.
Twitter's tough, man.
Dude, Twitter's
you got to
really
be active
hard.
all the time.
You do, and I forget it. Sometimes I'll go a week without doing it. So it picks up more like when I'm about to have a fight, because I do interviews or stuff, and so
I'll notice, because like I'll be on there and then I'll get like a bunch of likes from Austin. And like,
Austin,
hella old,
Austin,
hella old tweets. I was like, oh, he must have just logged on.
2 weeks, gone through. But so those are my two. Those are the two, man. And I am gonna get better at Twitter. I just have to have my significant other kind of do my
just have her run it.
That is what I
just need her to
have
retweet everything.
Yeah, just retweet. Yeah. So
that's awesome,
well,
dude.
Congrats again on your guys' engagement.
Thank you guys so
awesome,
much.
dude.
Yeah.
Wait, when's the wedding?
Wow, man. I think
People want to know, man.
Yeah, so I think we're thinking May of 2019.
You heard it here first.
There we
Yep.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Because
Breaking news right there.
we
That's
were just
awesome.
talking about this. Now this isn't for sure, but this is
It is
that's
now.
kind of what we're.
It is
Yeah, I
now.
guess so now.
So,
might just get eloped
So May
real quick.
2019.
Who knows?
Yeah,
That's
yeah, that too.
That's cool.
All right, cool, man. Well, it was awesome having you, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate you.
Yup.
Big things coming from
Heck
Austin.
yeah.
man.
What's the fight again?
Fight is April 14th, Dallas, Texas, and it's for Victory Fighting. And if you can't make it to the actual fight, it's aired on UFC Fight Pass. So,
UFC Fight
so you
Pass.
can watch on UFC Fight
Yeah,
Pass.
Hell
we did
yeah.
that last time, and
Yeah.
it's actually super easy to do, and
Yeah, really
it
easy.
took us like
yeah.
2 minutes to set up everything and
Yeah.
stream it. So
I was hella mad because
Yeah.
Chrissy and I were in Tahoe and we were trying to find a bar that was showing the fights. And everyone was like, "Oh, it's next week." I was like, "No, there are fights tonight." And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we don't have Fight Pass," and so we were just in a bar and we were watching it on my phone.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking thank God for the app though.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Anyway, appreciate having you on, Austin.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yep. Always fun.
Check him out. Anyway,
Yeah.
thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you leave a 5-star review wherever you're on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this at. It really helps spread the podcast.
yeah,
It's your boy James.
it's Rob Tremonti.
And then I guess we'll add
What's your
Austin.
name?
Austin
Who are you?
Vanderford. We're cutting out.
All right. Appreciate y'all. Peace.